Hey y'all, thank you for coming to ROZZY'S channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I make my ancestors 100% whole wheat bread. No white flour at all. This is delicious. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start off with some whole wheat flour and some salt. I'm just going to mix that in a little bit. And the salt that I chose was Himalayan salt. As you guys can see, it is a pink salt. I don't want none of this to fall out the bowl. Didn't realize the bowl would get this full with this much flour. So I just got it a little mixed in there. So now I'm just going to put in 3 cups of the flour. And then I'm going to put on my dough attachment, which I really call it a dough head. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Lower it in here and go ahead and start it to mixing. Now I can go ahead and put in my yeast. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this mixture in with the flour and salt and get this all to start combining. This recipe is not hard. The only thing is nowadays we have a machine. So if you're doing it by hand, it will take a little bit more time and a little bit more energy because of the kneading of the dough. But it's all good because we can do it by hand as well. So I'm just pouring in all of the yeast, get all of that foam out of there too. Add that in. That's some good too. It's going to make your dough rise and be soft. So now I'm just scraping it down. And as I can see, I did not put it on there tight, but it is now tight. As far as the bowl, you've seen the bowl moving. So it is now adjusted once I hit it back the other way. Now I'm going to continue on with just letting it all blend in. And don't worry, whenever it starts looking funny like it's not going to come together, it will. Now it's time for me to go on ahead and add in the butter. Yum butter. Now you can use butter or you can use ghee. Ghee is better for you, but hey, if that's all you got is butter, you're good. So now I just add in another cup of flour and just continue to mix that. And as you can see, it's starting to try to pull away. And I've only added in 4 cups of flour. Now, wheat flour works differently than white flour. So now I'm adding in another cup of that wheat flour. And yes, wheat flour does act differently than white flour. You don't need as much wheat flour for bread as you do white flour. So now I'm just stopping it so I can scrape it on down. You want to make sure you scrape it down in intervals because you don't want to have patches of flour or hunks of flour. You want to make sure everything gets well mixed in. And I just added in the last cup of flour. So I'm going to let it go on ahead and do what it do. And you will see all of this come together. And like I said, if it's looking funny, don't worry about it. Just let the mixer continue to mix. Or if you're doing it by hand, just continue to knead it and it will all come together. And you can see how it all came off the walls of the bowl. I mean, this mixer is like a godsend, I promise. I've kneaded so much dough and it takes a while, but it's always worth it when you're making something homemade. And I did let it just go. I just walked away and just let it just knead away. And so now that it's ready, I have some wheat flour I put down on the cabinet, and now I'm just pulling out the dough. And just lay it upon the flour and make for sure that you put it on one side and then flip it on over because it will be sticky. And so the only thing we want to do is kind of flatten it out with our hand. You don't need a rolling pin for this part. I'm just trying to get it into like a square shape because I'm going to put something up on this here dough here. Because it's not going to just be wheat bread. It will be garlic Parmesan wheat bread. So just take your roasted garlic and make for sure you roast your garlic. You don't want to put raw garlic on here. Just roast it and put it on here. Spread it all the way around. Now take your Parmesan cheese and just put it all over this dough. This is going to be some very good whole wheat bread with roasted garlic and Parmesan cheese. Now, if you don't want the cheese, of course, leave that out, but I would advise to keep that delicious garlic. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put it into a ball because we do want this to rise again. And I want to keep all of that cheese and garlic mixture inside of this dough. There's my buttered bowl. And so I'm just putting it in here. And now I'm going to put some avocado oil on top of the dough and just rub it on in, or rub it on. But anyway, I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to cover it with a clean cloth, and I'm going to let it rise in a warm area in my kitchen. And here it is, y'all. It came out absolutely perfect. It doubled in size. So now I'm going to pour out this dough here. When I get this flour spread upon this cabinet, I'm going to go ahead and lay my dough out. And this dough is so beautiful and absolutely light. And this will make for a very soft bread. If you can tell how light and airy it is by the way I'm pushing on it. And this recipe here made 2 nice sized loaves of bread. So what I'm doing basically is just sizing it up so I can go ahead and slice this into 2 portions. I've sliced it, and so now I'm just making it into its loaf. And no, you cannot see the cheese or the garlic, but trust me, it is in there. And you just pinch it all around, and you ball the sides of it up and pinch that as well to make for sure it doesn't open. Ball it and pinch it. Now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put it in its pan and just get it fitted within the pan. And once you get it all fitted in the pan, however you may like it, get you a piece of plastic wrap and just sit it upon the bread dough. Don't put it on there tightly, just sit it on there. And then go on ahead and work your other dough. And go on ahead and do the same thing you did with the first one as far as rolling it over on top of each other and sealing it all around. And then of course you put it in the pan and hey, put a piece of plastic wrap on it and just let it sit over there and rise one more time. Now make for sure you put it in a warm place. Making bread for me in the warmer months is a little bit easier than making it in the colder months. Even though your house is warm, it just works differently with temperature and climate. I'm just fitting this one in the pan so I can go on ahead and put this plastic upon it, and we're going to let it rise, y'all. We're going to let it rise. All right, and it has risen again. Look how big it came. Make for sure it comes up out of the pan, not crawling out, but like up. It has a little height on it. And now it's time for me to put it in the oven. These will be delicious. A little bit of time and making your own food, especially in this time when money is so scarce. This is the best thing to do. You will have something to eat for dinner. I'm just cutting it up just to show you guys how beautiful this 100% whole wheat bread is with the garlic and the Parmesan cheese. Of course, you can leave all that out, but hey, I had to do a little extra today. Look at that. Beautiful. And every bite, you will have a bite of the garlic and you will get some of that gooey cheese. Y'all see that cheese right there? My ancestors said, well done. And I will be coming back with another bread recipe. I thank you all for your time. I hope you guys enjoy it. I am out. And please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about ROZZY'S Life. Turn on your notifications when you hit that bell. Bye-bye.